Hi, good afternoon. I'm Deb Hagan. I'm with Century 21, the Hunter Group, community market leader here in the Southeast Georgia coastal area. I want to talk to you today about terminology that is used in the real estate industry, trying to educate buyers and sellers. The terminology today we're going to talk about is earnest money. What is earnest money? How much do I pay? When do I pay it? And do I get that money back as a buyer or as a seller? The earnest money is given as good faith money. It's the money that you put down if you're a buyer and you're looking to purchase a house and you're going to write an offer. You want to put down earnest money. This money lets the seller know, hey, I really love your home and I'd really love to purchase it. And so I'm going to offer you, say, $500 or $1,000 in earnest money. And then the seller will say, hey, that's great, but I really would like to have more. I need $1,500 down or whatever. It's a negotiated term of how much, but your realtor will give you some guidance on that based on the purchase price of the home. So the earnest money is once you determine how much you're going to put down, then that is held in an escrow account by either the listing brokerage or the selling brokerage, and they hold that money there until closing. Now, the buyer might want to know, can I get that money back if I decide not to purchase the home? Yes and no. It really depends. There's a due diligence that is typically set, which is a time frame of usually anywhere from 5 to 20 days, depending on the length of the contract. And this will allow the buyer to do home inspections and termite inspections, and just to make sure during the due diligence in the state of Georgia, during that due diligence period, a buyer can back out for any reason at all. And when he terminates a contract during due diligence, then the earnest money is then returned to the buyer. If after the due diligence he decides he needs to terminate the contract, then the earnest money then is given to the seller. So that's a little bit about the time frame of when it can actually be returned to the buyer and when it goes to the seller. There's also financing contingencies that may play a part in earnest money depending on the contract and how it is written. Then when does the buyer actually get that money back if he doesn't terminate the contract? Well, it actually is returned to the buyer whenever we get to the closing. And at the closing table, on the closing documents, it will state a credit has been given to the buyer. Say if he paid $1,000 down, then there will be a credit on the closing documents on the buyer's side that gives him back that money. And so instead of a buyer bringing $10,000 and paying that at closing, he will only bring $9,000 to the closing. Hopefully this is really helpful to you guys and gives you a little bit of insight about earnest money. And I want to just be able to help buyers and sellers and help you to be more educated and more knowledgeable in what you're doing. And again, I'm Deb Hagan. I'm with Century 21, the Hunter Group, community market leader here in our area. And remember, Deb sells homes. And I hope you make it a great day and enjoy this beautiful spring weather we have here in our Southeast Georgia coastal area.